two guys who you have to consider, and they're both less than 20-1, which isn't, it's not exactly value. But Matt Kuchar and Patrick Cantley certainly look like contenders this weekend.
Yeah, we've talked about Cantley a couple of times on this show, and I would be on him this week, but his price is obscenely short this week. He was 20-1 open. He's down 14, 16-1 now. Incredible off the tee game. 2 top threes in his last 2 starts in the PGA. 4th at the Memorial last year. His game absolutely fits this course, and I would expect him to be contending. Looking to play on Matt Kuchar in the matchups this week. If you look at his course form here, it's incredible. He's started here 13 times. He's made 12 cuts, 11 of which he's finished in the top 15. His last 9 starts, a win, a second, 2 fourths, and a fifth. Clearly a guy I'd be looking to play on in a matchup. One of the ones I'm looking at, he's only about minus $1.20 against Justin Thomas. Thomas has played well here the last 2 years, and he's played well at Firestone, but he withdrew from the PGA with a wrist injury, and if Justin Thomas is withdrawing from a major, the wrist injury had to be clearly serious. Not sure how healthy he is, so that's one matchup I'm looking at this week.
Let's talk a little baseball with Jeff Davis. You can follow him on Twitter at @the_junkyard. He's the director of trading at Caesars Entertainment. And maybe focus on the NL Central, where I know they're winning today. In fact, they're winning big. The Pirates are blowing out the Reds. But they kind of look like the team that is going to fall out of it. But the other 4 teams that division, I'm going to tell you might be able to throw a blanket over them. This looks like it might be a great race in the NL Central.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. The Cubs got hot there for a while, but, man, pitching's kind of been a disaster over the last week, giving up 46 runs in their last 6 games. They're still minus $2 to win the NL Central. But, again, the division is getting a lot closer. And you take a look at the Reds. I mean, the Reds were 10, 12 games out and had the second-best run differential in the division. They're, first or second in the National League in ERA, and I think you got to go back to Jose Rio and the Nasty Boys the last time we talked about the Reds pitching. But, teams who get outs generally are still involved in August and September. And this team kind of falls into that category. They're just getting people out. And all the 1- and 2-run games they lost in April and May, they're starting to win games. And I just feel like it's going to turn. And I think this team's going to be around still in August and September.
Well, I mean, Cincinnati's in last place. They have a plus 41 run differential, and they're only 5 games behind the Cubs for first place. So it's really tight there. But the team has kind of caught my eye of late is St. Louis. And they've caught my eye because they're trending in the wrong direction. And you talk about Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh has been injuries. That staff's been destroyed.
Yes. And it's not, unfortunately, it's not going to get better because Tyon's a long-term injury. Yeah. Archer doesn't look healthy. I mean, and they're not going out and trading for anybody. So
Exactly. Where St. Louis has that potential. But, I mean, to me, the Cards have looked the most lifeless of the bunch out of this entire group of teams, certainly in the month of May.
Totally agree. Us in the office were high on St. Louis with some of their off-season moves, but now you look at them. They paid Andrew Miller all this money, and he's been essentially a bust outside of his last handful of appearances. He's been pretty good. Goldschmidt has, 25, 26 RBIs. Matt Carpenter's hitting 210. The team as a whole has just been very average, and I would expect a lot more out of them, and the rotation hasn't been good either. Walker hasn't been good. Wainwright hasn't been good. Yeah, I'm with you, Teddy. I'm a bit disappointed in the Cardinals.
I'll say one thing for the Cardinals, though. They don't sit around, and they've moved Walker to the bullpen now. They brought up this kid, Cabrera, who's going to pitch tonight. And wait till you see his delivery, by the way. It's one of the most violent deliveries you'll ever see.
He just looks mad when he throws it.
He does. He could be scary. He's also all over the place with his fastball. So we'll see what his control is like at this level. But it just seems as though something isn't right here. And maybe it's a case of having too many bodies and not enough guys to really establish themselves as the everyday lineup, because it's kind of like you never see the same lineup 2 days in a row for the Cardinals. And part of that is, look, they've got a whole bunch of guys. They've got so many outfielders, they had to send O'Neill to the minor leagues. They had no room for him. How about trade one for a pitcher? Even if it's a bullpen guy, because Hicks, I know he throws the ball 200 miles an hour, but it's straight as an arrow. and guys hit it. Carlos Martinez looks like the most reliable bullpen at this stage, and we don't know if that guy's going to stay healthy. It's just not a very good situation there.
I totally agree, Dave. And you're right. The Cardinals are a team that will make a move if they're in contention. And, per the Reds and what we just talked about, if you're a team that can get guys out, you'll be around in September. And right now, there's nobody really that the Cardinals can put on the mound that is a shutdown guy that strikes fear into the eyes of batters. And if they're going to do something, they definitely have to bolster the rotation because right now it's just it's not a division-winning roster, if you ask me.
Flaherty's probably their best guy, and then Sunday 6 innings. He's brilliant. 91 pitches. It's like, I can't take him out. We can't put him out there for any more because he might hurt his arm or something. I mean, is this driving you as nuts as it is me? We know the bullpens are bad all over baseball. Part of the reason for that is most bullpens are comprised of failed starters. That's why they end up in the bullpen.
Carlos Martinez.
Well, his is injury induced, but and so what you're doing is, first of all, you're babying the starting pitchers, who are getting to the point now where they're basically done right after the national anthem plays, and in the process, you're extending innings for pitchers who aren't very good. It doesn't make any sense to me, and I just don't get it. It's going to drive you crazy if you're betting on these games when the starting pitcher is rolling and all of a sudden he's not in there and your bullpen blows it. It's just going to be aggravating.
Well, let me jump in real quick because I want to ask you, are you seeing more action on the 5-inning line because people are getting frustrated with this? Or is it, baseball betting just as it's always been and people still bet the games and only a few people bet the first half?
It's baseball betting as it always has been, and much less people bet the first 5 innings than the full game. But from a baseball fan perspective, you hit the nail on the head, Dave. The reason why the bullpens are so bad is because, we're used to seeing 7-man bullpens. Now we're looking at 9- and 10-man bullpens. And of the 9 and 10 guys, at least 4 of them can't pitch and shouldn't be in the major leagues. And these guys, they just get to 97, 104 pitches, and you have to take them out because this guy might still be good in 17 years. And that's what it's become. And, you're telling me 15, 20 years ago, Chris Sale would have got taken out of that game against the Rockies a week and a half ago? No chance.
Do you think – I will tell you this. If Jack Morris were pitching today, he would be arrested for assaulting a manager because he would not come out of the game.
But you always have the Johan Santana story, where...
But that was 149 pitches.
Yeah, well, he got the no-hitter, and the Mets needed that no-hitter in the worst way.
I'm not advocating 149 pitches, but 120? That's just not pushing it.
Although Lance Lynn threw 120 2 starts ago, and last time out they were betting against him like crazy, and it was the right move.
Well, but then he came back last night and pitched very well again. No, I got to tell you, I don't like that style of baseball. I think it's bad for the game. Anyway, we rarely talk soccer, but we have a really big match coming up on Saturday. I'm not a soccer bettor, but there's so many soccer bettors around town now, and the volume really rising exponentially with the use of the mobile devices. And Tottenham and Liverpool go on Saturday for a title. This is big business, isn't it?
Yeah, the handle on the Champions League final is incredible. It's outside of maybe the World Cup final, it's always one of the biggest handle game. The ticket count, we're heavier on Tottenham based, because they're plus $3, but 3 times as much money on Liverpool as would be expected. The number hasn't moved all that much, and given the amount of money that it takes to move this market and how solid this number is, I wouldn't expect it to move all that much more between now and game time. And I would check back on our app tomorrow or Friday. We're going to put up a whole bunch of props, yes, no, guys to score a goal, over-under cards, over-under corners, things like that. We got a first half up for this. We'll have a second half up. So, yeah, the betting handle is going to be great. Should be a good event.
Well, let me ask you this. Are the same people who are betting baseball and basketball, are they the same guys that are coming in and betting the soccer, or is it kind of a different group of bettors that come in and bet the finals like this?
To bet the Champions League final, it's just going to be the same guy that would be in here to bet baseball or to bet football or whatever, because the handle on this game is probably going to approach a marquee, say Week 6 NFL game. So, the handle's going to be really good.
That's good. And of course, with several locations around town, I got to think that one of the Caesars spots in Las Vegas is a great place to watch this event.
Oh, for sure. Caesars Palace is the one that comes to mind. The video wall is incredible. Seats are comfortable. No reason why this wouldn't be a great place to come watch the game. The audio will be on, so if that's your thing, definitely come down and watch a game.
All right. What else is happening at Caesars? The entertainment lineup is just unbelievable. How many big stars are appearing at the different Caesars properties around town, and we're talking main event people.
Oh yeah, Celine Dion, who's been a resident at Caesars for years now, only has 7 shows remaining before she'll no longer be performing. Tonight, Friday, Saturday, and then next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So if you haven't seen Celine Dion and you want to, you got 7 chances left, and I suggest you get on the phone and buy some tickets before they're gone. Also, we talked a few weeks ago about Madonna having a residency here at Caesars. The dates have been announced. Only 3 shows, so I assume the tickets will be gone as soon as they go on sale. Thursday, November 7th, Saturday, November 9th, Sunday, November 10th. Those tickets will not be cheap, and if you wait till they get to the aftermarket, they will be even more expensive. So get down as soon as you can if you want to see Madonna.
And I imagine there's a sense of urgency with both of those, the Madonna and the Celine Dion. Those tickets aren't going to be hanging around for long.
Absolutely not. Celine's been one of the best acts at Caesars for a long time, and again, 2 weeks left.
And Teddy and myself both excited about a one-night-only showing. Steve Martin and Martin Short together. That's going to be a great show.
It's 2 of the 3 amigos.
Yes.
Yeah, that's October 6th. They did a show, 6-7 months ago, and they're only going to do one more, October 6th. Great guys, great comedians. Surely will be enjoyable. Get your tickets fast before they go.
Yep, we're going to figure out a way to get to that one for sure. Always a pleasure, Jeff. And remember, let people know how easy it is to get the app. You can download the app right now, but signing up for an account is like a 10-minute process.
Yeah, you just go to CaesarsSports.com, download the app, come to a book. You just need your ID, some cash, fill out the application, and you don't even have to come to a book again. Go home, sit on your couch, and fire away at all of the great betting options that Caesars Entertainment puts out on a daily basis.
Well, you got to go to the book one more time when you're collecting all the money.
Get your money, right, when you win.
That's a nice trip.
That's always a good trip.
Swing into one of the great restaurants, make a day of it. All right, JD. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Take care.
Make sure and follow Jeff Davis on Twitter at @the_junkyard. It's one of our favorite segments of the week, talking about what's going on up and down the board with Jeff. Speaking of up and down the board, up and down the baseball board, we'll be going to our Wednesday MJ Christensen 4 at 4 next.
The Las Vegas Sportsline.
I'm Derek England, and Vegas is my home. I work here, I play here, I even get my cars here. Findlay Kia is my dealership. I appreciate the fact that they're Vegas born and bred. Whether you're looking for a fun-to-drive compact like the Kia Soul, a mid-size SUV like the Kia Sorento, or a performance luxury car like the Kia Stinger, come see Findlay Kia. Getting it right is their driving ambition, and I know a little something about that.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. Now, I know I hate the real treadmill, but what's this debt treadmill I hear about all the time?
Well, a debt treadmill is a trap with a lot of payday loan companies out there, especially some of the online scammers. It basically means you keep paying interest over and over and your principal never goes down.
So my loan would never get paid off in that situation?
Exactly, and it's not a good treadmill to be on. We make sure you pay a little principal with every payment you make at Dollar Loan Center. It's called a fully amortized installment loan. If you pay it off quick, great, major savings. But if you need more time to pay it off, even a year or so, at least you're paid in full at the end because you were chipping away at the principal on every payment.
Like it should be. Thanks, Chuck. Get up to $5,000 in just minutes at Dollar Loan Center. We have over 50 locations, and our friendly Dollar Loan Center staff are ready to help. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Customer must meet the normal loan qualifications. To review loan qualifications, visit us at don'tbebroke.com. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
This is Chad Warren, Executive Director of the UNLV Alumni Association. Being a rebel is an